this as the center of the circle of peace. This rock, I don't know how deep it goes into the ground, but it's been here for many thousands of years. This, in fact, was originally part of an ancient seabed and then a lake, then redeposited on the bottom of the lake. So this rock, it's as if it emerges up out of all of this sediment that it shares the same consistency with. Just like a wave that comes up out of the ocean. And that wave is exactly the same as every other bit of the ocean. It's part of all this one absolute source and being. So even though I call this the center, it's not separated from any of it. It's just this kind of emergence. And it's in the shape of a heart. And I have a heart sitting, there's water in here from the rain, so the water. So this heart, also like a mother holding a child. So that's the heart, the open heart, the compassion, that's the true essence of this circle as it comes into form, as if from the formless, from the whole ocean of being. So this is something that's unique that comes in. And I also talk about living at the center of who you are when you live at the center of the circle. So you could feel this as your most deepest, truest, essential self. Inseparable from the ocean of being, but just this little rise up out of it. And its first manifestation is as love, compassion, the heart. So then as we continue as if to emerge out of this ocean, now we come into more form. It's as if now we're being born. And we begin to manifest, so to speak. And when we're children, we're still living somewhat in this, the flow, the magic. We're not completely separated until we gain a name, we gain a history, we start to think a lot, we protect ourselves a lot. So now we get to add this head. And this head begins to separate us from what's below. Everything gets polarized into this head because now we're trying to survive, and so we're trying to control what's happening in this life of the circle. And we think a lot. And we experience that as who we are. We've emerged up out of this, but now all this thinking, this is who I am. So this is like your ego. It's the little I. It's the little I with a dot on top. In a sense, the head is separated from what's below. Before that was the big I. But now it's the little I. And still, though, within this emergence into form, something that runs through it is what I call the spine of your life. This runs through it, so to speak. This is your unique expression and gift to the world. But what happens is this takes it over. This overruns it. This dominates it and actually doesn't really allow it to come in fully. But this travels through this and it emerges up out of this wave from the ocean of being into form. So what's the way back home? We try to use this as the way back home. We study, we think, we figure out, we analyze, we have all kinds of techniques, and we keep using this, and if we can accumulate more, then we'll get it. But we're still continuing to use this as a focus toward the rest of the world. And it needs to return to its compassionate heart source and access that in its journey back home. The mind must be turned back on itself. And it's turned back on itself and engages this in doing so. And engaging it, it connects with that, and it connects with a compassion toward all those things in life that have separated it, all its pain and its history. So in this turning the awareness as compassion, slowly it removes what's in the way, gently, lovingly, until it finally completely unites with this center heart. And you could call this the journey of reconnection to the big I. The I that is not separated at all. It's connected with this emergence. And we used the mind, which invokes this, even from the beginning to the journey back to it, to travel there. And eventually, when you've removed enough, it is as if you're traveling and you're coming down. And you're coming down. So that ultimately, you want to spend more time, more moments in the day like this. Like this. Engaged. This journey is through the use of your breathing, your relaxing, your giving up your history, you're giving up your memories, you give it all up. To engage that answer to the question, who am I? And you hold that. You hold that lovingly, and you stay there, and you stay there. And you stay there. And it is as if you're gently holding on to this quiet presence that you are. But it is as if holding it, it's like your attention, but so softly, so softly. As if this, who am I, it brings you here. And you just stay here. You just stay here. And it's quiet. And even that quiet that you're holding on to, this quiet, hear you. Then you just let that sink and melt. It's like you melt. Everything melts back into the ocean of being. And all you did was just stay here. Almost as if listening to the ground. Listening to the ground of your being. And letting it carry you. So that holding is like, I'm listening. It's my deep listening. My deep listening. And it gives back to me. My compassionate, deep listening then it comes back to me. And even as I invoked this journey back to this, through all these layers, I invoked it all back. I invoked this in my journey back through it as a loving presence that gently unwinds and undoes all the hard, unmoved emotions within me that block the way. And I clear the way. I clear the way. Just by this, I clear the way. I am this to my self-hate. I am this to my rage. I am this to my terror. I am this to my impatience, my selfishness, my greed. And in being this, I journey back to this. So you invoke what you really are in the journey to who you are. Because it's always there. It's always there. It's always there. So when I come to my circle and just sit on this rock, essentially, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing.